So you want to know how I do it? You don't know what I got? Well, that was dramatic. Whoa. What is happening? And welcome to the first Jerry Rig of 2023. And I only thought it would be fitting if, you know what, I did a new Jerry Rig rundown, right? Because things have changed since that crazy thing. I still, oh wow, the comments I get on those videos. But it's okay. It's not a big deal because things change. You grow as a musician, as a creator, and as an artist. You grow and you find things that fit your style a little bit more. You find things the way to do them the right way, maybe. Who's to say what the right way is? I don't know. But I'm so glad you're here. This episode of Jerry Rig is brought to you by me. That's right, in the Golden Road Guitar Course. You can pick it up for 130 bucks. You want to know how I play guitar and how you can do it too? It's all about changing your perspective on the fretboard. It's got videos, it's got charts, backing tracks, the whole shebang, right? You'll learn more about it later, right? Also, merch. You can buy some sick St. Owsley merch at realbird.company.site and other various Toby and Davey properties over there. Go check it out. The way that we're going to break this down, right? So the best way to start probably is with the amp, right? So we're just going to kind of cut around the studio. I'm going to show you everything that I use, the guitars, the pedals, and I'm going to show you the studio. I'm going to show you a little bit peek behind the curtain, as they say. I don't know who said it, but they say it. Okay, so we're going to break things down. We're going to go through everything. We're going to show you how everything works, even like my whole computer setup, because people are always asking about that. So we're going to show you everything. We're just I'm going to bear it all. We're going to bear it all. We're going to centerfold this for you. You know what I'm saying? So I love you, and let's do it. All right, so here we are in a weird little close-up. Isn't that fun? So I figured the best place to start is for the Jerry Rig Rundown would be the amp, right? So this is the Milkman, the Amp 100. I've done a full video breakdown on it, so you can go check that out if you want to. I think the link should be like right there. I'm going to put that in and post. Isn't that nice? Video editing. Great. It's crazy. You can do so many crazy things with computers. Anyways, this is my amp. This thing has so much headroom, and it gets a really nice sound implemented with an EQ pedal. So as you know, this only has like treble and bass as your EQ settings on here. So I throw in a Boss EQ, and that allows me to get like the really throaty twanginess that I want and need to have, right? So Milkman the amp, that's the kind of the base of the operations. And this also as you can see on the back here, this has a balanced out, and this XLRs into my board over there that you'll be seeing here shortly. It XLRs out, and it has a cab simulator on here, so you're never hearing these speakers, which we're about to talk about. You're never hearing those in these videos unless otherwise notified. Do you understand? Right? So I don't know why I need to talk to you like that. You're not my mom. Ugh. Anyways, I'm kidding. I love you, Mom. So you never hear that. So what you hear in these videos and what you'll hear in a little bit, it's going to be going through the computer, and it's just the cab simulator. So it's really good and pretty accurate for what it needs to be, because these are mostly used for pedal steel players. Well, that's why he made them. They're great for guitars, and they're great for the sound, because that's kind of that sound you want. Super toppy and able to have plenty of headroom going. It's a tube preamp to a Class D amplifier. So it's kind of like a very scaled down version of what Jerry ended up having, right? After the Fender Twin days. He always stayed with a Twin, but then after like Bear came in and started, doing the whole wall of sound thing and really upping their audio quality, you know what I mean? That's when they threw in the Macintosh power amps, and then they would modify the Twin head to go out to those, and then you would just like fucking drive it that way. So you get... It's really incredible. And this is a scaled down version of that in a nutshell. So that's that, right? The amp. You're welcome. And then now we're going to talk about these guys. So this right here, let me pull some focus. How about that? How about I go over to the focus? I go past me. I go past me to there. There you go. You can see those. So what this is, and we'll do a close-up of it here in a moment. What this is a Bartle box. This is an original Bartle box. This was made for me by Tim Bartlebaugh, who is a great friend of the channel and just a beautiful human being and a beautiful craftsman. This thing has held up. I've put this thing through so much shit. It's a hard trucker style cabinet. I don't know if I said that, but that's what it is. And it's amazing. It's, again, I'm rough on my stuff. I'm rough on my stuff. I'm a bit of a bad boy. I throw stuff around. I kick it. I scream at it. I you know, put it in a dress and dance around with it. Like I do a lot, right? I do a lot. And inside of it, these little beauties that have been dented to hell, because again, I you know, can't ever have nice things. So those are Weber California 12s. And I've also done a whole video on these guys. So you can see that here. So all this stuff, a lot of this stuff I use and have been using and have talked about before, but this is just an update. Will I ever do JBL E120s? If I have enough money and they're still around, because they do not make them anymore and they're not getting more available. So I would love to have them at some point, but I love these California 12s. They do what I need them to do, and they have a very accurate representation. It is not the most accurate, no, because it's not the exact thing, right? You know, sometimes you're limited by budget. Sometimes you're limited by, like, you know, I don't know, geography. Limited by your geography or your social status. I don't know, man, but you deserve things that work, right? And that's all what it's about. It's about finding what you like, okay? And so that's the cab. And here in a moment, I will insert a close-up if I haven't already done that. So I guess what we'll do now is we will talk about pedals. You want to talk about the pedals?
Let's talk about pedals.
Coming to you from the pedal cam. Okay, so starting from right to left on the bottom here. So this is the TC Helicon Harmony Singer 2. Okay, so this thing is very special. So if you're ever watching any of my live streams and you hear me bust into some wicked, I mean wicked choruses with some harmonies to it, it's that guy. It also has reverb in it. It has all the stuff you need. So I'm going to throw that on. See, I've got reverb on my voice now. Some would say it's too much, but I say it's never enough. Okay, so then you can also throw on voices, right? And then it does it can do different ones. Isn't that nice? And you can do double, you can go real low, and you can turn it all the way up so you can have a demon voice. Do you want to have a demon voice? You can have a demon voice. Then you hold it down to turn it off, and everything's fine again. And you don't have to worry about burning in hell for all eternity. Okay? So what happens with that is your guitar plugs into it. You see that black guy right there? So that one runs in to there. Cool? So that's your guitar in. And it also takes your vocal mic in and out. And then it goes out into your pedal board. Because what's really awesome about this pedal in particular is that it does perfect harmonies with what you're playing. So it reads, the little computer in there reads what you're playing. It tells the key of what you're playing, and it puts those harmonies in perfect key. So it can actually help you learn how to sing if that's something you want to do. It can help you find where in tune is. So next, you're running into tuner. It's just a D'Addario, regular ass fucking, see, you see, it's a nice little tuner. It's bright, and you can pretty much see it anytime, which is very, so my pedal board is definitely like, it works. So that's the thing I'm going for. I'm not going for fancy. I'm not going for like top of the line. I'm going for what works. So then all of this is before this guy. So everything is on an onboard effects loop with the guitar. I always run that effects loop on. Everything for the most part runs through that effects loop. Everything but the GR drive, right? So that's the next thing. You go Harmony Singer, tuner, GR drive. And this GR drive is special because it's a JFET boost with, you know, a potentiometer on there. So you basically control the amount of grit almost. It's kind of like, think a thick air pedal. And this was made for me in collaboration with Sheptronics, our buddy Aaron Shepard. He is a wizard. He's my guitar tech. He's my amp tech. He's my everything. He's my everything. I love him very much. And then, so from the Jar drive, you run into the hubbub. Now, if you don't know what a hubbub is, I've also done a video on that. Boom, right? It should be like right there, maybe. You run into the hubbub, which is a junction box for your onboard effects loop. So you've got this guy plugs in, the red guy. Red guy plugs in to the O-Bell, right? O-Bell. That might not be in focus, but it's what it says. And then you've got guitar, so that's coming from the Jar drive, right? So this is my guitar part, and then that runs into the hubbub. And then from there is you've got your return and send for your effects. So now what we're doing is we're running from this over to my EQ, right? So the EQ is the next thing. And this thing really helps me. You see how I've got just like the high mids and the highs boosted, and I've got this little bit of like this kind of like mid bass boosted a little bit, as well as like I sometimes bring down this bass a little bit depending on what's happening in the room, because all this stuff is subject to change. All these settings are subject to change, but this is mostly how I use this, okay? So if you're looking to set any of my tones, and as I go through, I might fine tune them, like with this guy. So out of the equalizer, this Boss equalizer, it goes into the Spark, the TC Electronics Spark, which is a really nice clean boost, right? So I have it set on fat because I like a little bit more sustain in my solos when I use this guy. And the Jar drive itself really helps as it adds harmonics to it. So I already have a buffer in my guitars, right, for that Jerry sound, to have that that extra oomph, that extra out, that extra nice, bright, chimey signal coming through everything. So it's basically a boost on top of a boost before it even gets into this. So I really like to use this Jar drive with the Ottawa envelope filter, whatever you want to call it. But we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so for the Spark, I like to use it here. I like to bring the treble to about here because, again, there's a very toppy tone you're going for, right? And then I've got the bass brought up a little bit because when you're doing solos and stuff, you want to be able to hear it, but you don't want it to be boomy, right? You still want that nice like throatiness to it, that froggy nature to it. And then from there, I've got the gain is set. I usually set the gain around here because I still want it a little bit more clean, but enough to kind of like get on the edge of breakup. I keep it on fat, but it's got 3 settings. It's got fat, clean, and mid boost. Now the mid boost is pretty okay, but I kind of like the fat because it just kind of like makes it more rich. And then from there we run to the Direwolf from Stomp Underfoot. There's also a motherfucking video on that, so you can go check that out too. But I like to, you know, I'll kind of mess with this around here because I want, when I'm going for this, I want more of an overdriven sound, not necessarily the full distortion, but something just a little bit heavier than what I want out of the Spark and the Jar drive. I have 4 drive pedals on this thing, and yeah, I love it. Then from the Direwolf, it goes into the Boss DS1. Now, Jerry used the DS1 for a little bit, not very long. He usually used those like MXR ODs or the super overdrives from Boss. But this is kind of how I usually have it set. I have my, because this is the one I use for like really heavy shit. But since there is a volume drop on these DS1s, I usually throw the Jar drive on to give it that extra push through so you can fucking hear it. I have a love-hate relationship with the DS1. And then from there, what we do, we go into this Moore Pure Octave. Now, I love this little octave pedal. You have a sub and an upper octave control. You're always getting 2 octaves with this, but you can always turn one of them off. I turn the sub off and I use the upper one. And then I stay kind of on this down 1 and down 2, like -1, -2 on the octaves. And then I just keep the -1 on the octave. I keep the lower one off. And I usually end up using this for like Feel Like a Stranger when I'm adding it to the next pedal, the Proton. Now, I love this pedal. So I know a lot of people have seen that I have used I've used the Mini Qtron before. That was on the first pedal board rundown I did. And then I recently, well, within the past year and a half or so, I got a Mutron Microtron 4. That guy. I got that guy. And that guy's good, but something happened with the electronics, and there's something wonky going on with it. And I needed something immediately, so I ordered this guy. So our guitarist, our other guitarist in Chance in the Void and pedal steel player in St. Owsley, Joel Fourlines, shout out Joel, he has one of these. He has the ultra rare white version though, but he let me use it when mine was on the Fritz, and I just loved it because it has a very organic sound to it, and you'll hear it once we're going through the guitars and stuff, so you can hear all these guys. Then what you do, and these are the settings I use. So this changes with guitars, right? So it depends on your guitar on what settings you use, right? So you've got your gain, peak, you've got your range up and down, you've got your sweep up and down, and then this is decay, right? And so that's kind of where it needs to be, and you'll see in a little bit. And then that runs into an auxiliary EQ pedal if I ever need to, like, this just kind of flattens everything from this. So if I ever am feeling too toppy during something, or something needs just like a little bit more bass to it, I'll throw that on instead of having to fuck with anything else. I don't use it a lot, honestly. It's a digital one, and it also, I can save presets on it, but it's just, I just don't know, man. Sometimes you just don't really get into stuff. Speaking of that, that's where the effects loop ends, and then it goes out to the Ventris dual reverb. Now, I love this thing. Let's see if I can get that more in. There we go. So that Ventris dual reverb up there, I usually keep it on the Hall setting, and these are usually my settings. They bring that time down a little bit, but that's kind of where I like it, because y'all know I like my shit wet. I like it dripping. I like it wet. It's swimming in an ocean of dreams. That's what I like. Okay. And then from there, it goes to the ditto, and then ditto go out. Ditto goes to the, no. It goes to the ditto first, and then to the reverb, and then to the amp, which it should probably be the other way around. Usually your looper goes last, but this is, so the chain it goes this way. Oh shit, I forgot the delay pedal. Delay pedal is last before the ditto. Okay, so sorry about that. And the delay pedal is, I'm thinking about getting a new one, because I've noticed that the volume drops now when I turn it on. So I've got to kind of like boost going into it, which then makes the effect more bright. It's very strange. But you'll see once I go through everything, and you'll see just kind of how I use stuff for whatever. So now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the MIDI pedal. All right, guys, so this is the Roland GR20 guitar synthesizer, and this thing is wicked. It does so many things that I literally think it would make you shit your brains out of your butthole. So what you've got here is you've got the unit, and then what happens is a 9-pin adapter goes from this to the pickup on your guitar. And if you've ever been watching my streams or my videos and been like, what is that little black box down there that leads to a wire that goes up to his pickups? Is this. It goes to this, and it makes me sound like any instrument I could ever fucking want to do, and aren't you jealous? This was sent over by a friend of the channel, RK Monkey. We love him very much. He's been a friend of the channel ever since he found it, and he has sent me 2 of these pickups and this pedal, and he's a saint. So, you know, you have people in your life that really come through to help you out, and RK Monkey is one of them. So he sent this over, and it's insane the things that you can do. So we'll just go through the instrument options that you have. You've got piano, organ, bass, brass, wind instruments, strings, and orchestral instruments. You've got synths and synth leads. You've got voices and pads. You've got ethnic. I don't know what that means. The fuck you mean by that? Ethnic, asshole. Then you've got rhythm and percussion. Then you've got user, where you save all your favorite ones, and you can always customize them down here with like attack, release, chorus, delay, reverb, the level. You can change the volume on them. And then you've got your patch edit here. You've got your system edit, which allows you to kind of like decide what's happening when it's leaving. And I will do a whole video on this unit itself and all the different sounds it can make, but today you're just going to hear some of my favorites. So you've got your glide and your hold, so you can either glide the notes up and down or whatever you decide they do, which you can change in here. And you've got hold, which you want to hold out the notes. So it's really good if you're playing like organ or piano, if you want to kind of hold those things out. And on the out, it's got a MIDI out and a MIDI in, which means you can bring patches in and push them out. So if you want to sound like things that aren't on here, you just MIDI out and use your DAW or whatever you're using for that. You got volume pedal here, but you've also got volume and patch up and down on the guitar. And I'll show you that here in a minute, because we're going to move over to the guitars and what kind of everything sounds like. So we're going to... What's up? Welcome to the guitar portion of the Jerry Rig Rundown for 2023, right? So this is Belle, B-E-L-L-E, because all my guitars have to have a name that starts with a B, right? So I use this guitar all the time on my streams. I've had this guitar forever, for probably like probably 10 years now. I've been playing this guitar. She's been through a lot. Again, like, I can't have nice things. So you see her dent, like, she's been through a lot, right? She's been through a hell of a lot. She came, so she's probably got to be from the early 2000s, because she had electronics in her. So I don't know, you know, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. She's been a great guitar. This is the guitar that I got through on American Idol with. I'll put up a couple pictures of that dumb fucking idiot thinking that, you know, just look at him. World ahead of him, deer in the headlights, not knowing that Katy Perry is about to ruin his dreams. Okay, so, and right here too, you'll see the things that I put on it during the streams and stuff to make it sound like it does, because piezos don't usually sound like that. Okay, so what I've got on it, I've got a clear amp on it, like a preamp, one of the fake ones that Logic has, that one right there. And I've just got it set to you know, just kind of like give some life to that piezo pickup. Also, I've got a stereo spread on it, so it just kind of feels a little bit wider, a little bit bigger within your ears, and hopefully like with whatever you're listening to this on. Also got an expander on it to kind of get rid of any kind of room noise. And then I've got a reverb on top of that to make it sound like it's in a fucking concert hall. Because again, I like stuff wet. I want to sound like I'm in a dream. I want stuff to sound big, right? Always try to sound bigger than you are, I guess. And just as an example, we'll do a little taste of one of my favorites. Sharice was brushing her long and gently down. It's the afternoon of carnival. She brushes it gently down. Now Ruben was strumming his painted mandolin. Was laid with a pretty face in Jane. Played the carnival parade. Literally the only thing I'm running out of this into is a looper, so I can do little loops with it and jump on my electric or whatever while I'm doing streams and whatever. So I love this guitar. It's a great guitar. She's been through a lot. She's done me right. You know, like I can't complain about her. I love her so much. So now let's get on to the electric guitars and like the synth stuff and all the woo crazy. Okay. All right, next up on the docket, we got Birdie, right? This is the baby. So I built this guitar with my bare hands. There's a video, boop, right up there, where you can watch me build her. This guitar will always be the most special guitar to me, because this guitar is made perfectly for my body. It fits right to me, fits perfectly. Right now, you know, I'm excited to get I want to put a different buffer in her. The buffer that I have in Bernadette, which I'll show in a few minutes, I just like better. It brings out like these pickups more. They have the same pickups in them, so I just want to have the same buffer in them, so they basically ultimately have the same sound. So this guitar was made from a solid piece of purple heart running through the middle, which is sandwiched with zebra wood and then flame maple. That makes the neck and the middle portion of the guitar here. You can see on the back. There's some great checking that has happened over time. I wasn't a fan of it at first, but now I've gotten used to it and kind of like it. You've got, this is wormy ambrosia maple that I have then stained the lacquer, so you can still see the wood grain all the way through. There are wormholes all through this guitar that I had to fill. The crazy volute on the back, that kneecap, I love it. I've got some abalone topped locking tuners that I got off eBay. I love this guitar. 3 DiMarzio Super 2s. I've got the Roland GK on here, and we'll show you all that kind of stuff. So here's what she sounds like going through the Milkman, you know. Birdie. Yay, Birdie. We love Birdie. Birdie's a great guitar. I love Birdie. So now let's check out Bernadette and then run through these pedals. Okay. Mwah. All right. Hey, this is Bernadette. Okay, so Bernadette is an Eastwood single point one, so an SP1. So it's because of this. So when Alembic first started, because this is an Alembic copy, when Alembic first started, this was one of the first body styles they made. But the Eastwood one, I'm never going to make a video about this guitar. I love this guitar now that I've done my thing to it, but I'm not a fan of what Eastwood does. I'm not really a fan. I took out the single coils that came in it because they're not good. And I put 2 DiMarzio Super 2s in there. I'm going to do a third DiMarzio Super 2 just to go ahead and do it. It's got a Spud 72 buffer in it that I put in, or Aaron put in. Thank you, Aaron. Love you. Onboard effects loop. It's the whole shebang. It's got all the stuff that makes it good. It's got all the stuff that makes it good. Boom. You see the back there? Walnut, maple. It's basically what's in it. So as you can hear, leave the fuck ups in, guys. So that's clean, okay? So now we're going to start going through the pedals. So you got the GR drive. So when I'll probably bring this back just to show you kind of like what it does. So it's going to add more harmonics, a little bit of a richness, fatness to it. So get a little bit like live, it sounds a lot better. You get some slight artifacting through digital, but it happens sometimes. And you know, I'll probably do I'll do a version at some point through everything. But if you watch the live shows like St. Owsley and you watch any of the Chance in the Void shows, you'll be able to hear it live because I use it a lot as a clean boost along with the Spark. So we're not moving down the line fully yet, but we're going to go right over here. So you've got the EQ off. Right? And then on. Just a little bit more accurate, right? Okay, now we're going to move on to the Spark. So Spark off. Get a little poppy. So Spark. I don't know. You never know. And then so from there we go the Direwolf. So more overdriven. You've got like a bit more sustain with it, you know. Not bad. Okay, and now we're moving on to the Boss DS1. You see what I'm saying? And then you add in the GR drive to kind of bring it up to the front. But I would end up kind of using this for like that, you know, the solo in Loser or the solo in the Help Slip. So it's just nasty. You know, and again, like all of this stuff, it just has to depend on your ear and what you're doing. I know that this isn't the perfect scenario to hear all this stuff in, but it is what it is. This is how I do stuff for these videos, like live and stuff. And you know, all this stuff is subject to change. It just depends on what your ear likes and what it doesn't like. It's okay. And then from there, you've got your octave pedal. So. Love that. It's a great octave pedal. And then we're going to move on to the Proton. So that's our auto wah, or our envelope filter. So a lot of times I like to add on the GR drive to it. See, pretty good. I enjoy it. And then from there it runs into the ditto, and the, you know, you've got our delay pedal here. So if we're going to do something with delay, we just throw on the GR drive and I like it subtle, but if we wanted to bring that level up, we could do that, and then right, so it's fine. I don't know why you guys watch these videos. I'm not a good guitarist. Anyway, so you've got that there, and then it runs to the ditto, and then you've got over into the reverb. Kick it off. So now you've just got the that's just the reverb from the amp. And then kick it back on. And that's about that for those. And now you can hear we'll turn that guitar up, and then now you can hear the synth stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of show you around the room and show you what all I got in here. Right. So let's do that now. Right. I'm going to show you the rehearsal space and just kind of like everything up here. Okay. All right, so this is how we're going to start this. So this is how I monitor myself when I'm doing the lessons and these videos and stuff. So that's an MSI, just a little, it's a monitor, right? And then what I'm monitoring through is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K. That's that guy. It's the big boy. It's a great camera. I love it. And as you can see past that, you can see T-Wade's practice drum set. You've got the area where Joel sets up. Joel sets up right over there in front of the bathroom. Toby's little keys set up. You got Hill's little bass area right there. The back corner, which no one goes to because that's where we keep the bodies, right? And then over here, you've got PreSonus Studio Live AR16. That's what that guy is. That's my board and also my interface. It's a multi-track out USB. I love it. That's the famous gallon water jug. So here at the desk, as you can see, here at the desk, you can see me recording my vocals. Right, I've got a dual monitor set up. So when I'm doing the live streams, you're usually seeing, like, you know, the backing tracks are usually up there, and then, you know, everything is monitored down here. I've got a power strip right there, some power module. I've got that little thing with the blue light. That's a hub for the Mac Mini. So that's a Mac Mini M1. The milkman sits right there. That's me and my dad. What up, Dad? He's dead. I've got two M Audio BX8s. I got them from a pawn shop for $150. They're basically brand new. They probably meant $150 a piece, but I got the pair. You know, I'm thrifty like that. And then of course, you have the Bartle box. And this skull was given to me after the first Tennessee's Dead show, and it's been on my amp ever since. We got our Jerry always watching me, judging me, what I'm doing. You know, you got some comic books. You got the Unflattening, Unzerkan. You got The End, Persepolis, Logic Comics, Batman the Widening Gyre, Batman Cacophony, Green Arrow Quiver. I know you guys don't really care about this nerdy shit, but I love it. I love comic books. My dad taught me how to read on comic books. So this is the map from Steal Your Map. Hit him up on Instagram. You've got my stuff here in the back here. You've got a little lantern that was a birthday present from Atlas. Love you, Atlas. You've got a present from Clarky Boy right there, the Anthem of the Sun. And then this is like my work table. So my grandfather built this table. This used to be the podcast table, but I brought it home now, and this is like kind of like my workbench for the guitars, which are right there, you know. And then we're back around. What's up? What's happening? Right? And so that's basically, this is my little spot. And I'll get up here. Oh shit, I've twisted my cable. So back around. And now what we'll do is we'll kind of come out here and give you guys like a full turnaround there. And then so that's the little studio spot. That's my little area. Isn't that nice and quaint and dirty? I mean, it's like, what do you expect? What do you expect? I'm a working musician. This can't just be spick and span all the time. You know what I mean? The floor is dirty. It's just like we practice up here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Jerry Rig. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for checking out all my shit. Look at all my shit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Go check out our Patreon, right? Patreon.com/Toby and Davey. There's tons of stuff over there. For not a lot of money, you get so much stuff. Almost 2 years worth of 5 videos a month. We do 5 videos a month for there, and that's been going on for 2 years. We're in our 3rd year of Patreon content. That's crazy, right? Also, realbird.company.site for merch. Go check out all of our stuff over there. We got these 6 St. Owsley tees and hoodies and Real Bird stuff and Toby and Davey stuff. It's awesome. Okay, there's a lot of cool stuff over there. Go check it out. You can also buy the Golden Road Guitar Course, $130 to my PayPal or Venmo, and I send you the Dropbox link. And it's got video modules, it's got charts, it's got backing tracks. And all it does is teach you how to play through shapes and patterns. I take modes and scales away, and you just shapes and patterns. That's all you got to figure out, because it's all the same shit up and down the neck. Let me show you how, right? Okay, also, yeah, I mean, the plug section, blah, blah, blah. You can donate directly to us if you just want to throw loose change at us. That's fine. We love that. And just remember to be a good person. You know, you can always email us your jerry rig. We'll show it. I don't know. We could do a video series of me rating people's jerry rigs. I don't know. That could be mean. You know, and just we love you. Be good people, right? Just don't be a dick. Remember, that's the old adage. Don't be a dick. Mwah.